up, guys? Out here giving some quotes on a Sunday morning. So I went to check out this client's house. They called regarding a irrigation valve. It's bad on their system, and I tried to get it to get described over the phone. I tried my best to really, see what's the problem, and she wouldn't tell me. She wouldn't give me the beans. She would just like, oh, well, I don't know. You have to come see it. All this stuff. So give it. I live over 60 miles away. I do charge a minimum of $60 just to show up to the property and kind of look around. I can't touch anything. I can't even look at I can't even touch the valves or the timer like to test them or nothing. I don't do none of that stuff unless you're paying for it. That's an irrigation diagnostic, and my minimum is $150 to do a diagnostic. And for the valves, it depends which valve it is, how it lays, how it sits. If it's always brass, if it's laying down, you're looking anywhere from $300 to $400 to have it replaced. That's just what it is. The valves are expensive as it is. Labor, parts, gas, you gotta travel, and this lady right away hits me with oh yeah, my gardener already checked it and he told me it's the valve. Well, I went to look at it, and yeah, he obviously pulled the solenoid off. When you do that, it means that the valve isn't shutting when the timer programs it to start, and when its time is up, it should shut off and move to the next zone. Well, that wasn't the case. This valve was staying on the whole time. And so I kind of looked at her and I said, well, yeah, this valve, it's a lay down valve, whatever. And she's like, well, how much is it going to cost me to change it? You're talking a house in the Hollywood Hills, like literally 2-3 lights before you get to Beverly Hills. And I tell her, it's going to be like $400 to change that valve. It's, copper. It's expensive as it is, and it's already a pain in the ass because it's in a box. Everything's already fitted. There's limited space to use the stick, so if you fuck it up, you're screwed. So I tell her, okay, well, it's going to cost you $400. $400? My gardener's charging me $135. Oh, okay, well, he's giving you the gardener special. Is that what he's charging you just for the valve, or is that not including labor? She said, no, that's just for the valve because we pay him monthly and blah, 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 blah. I said, okay, well, that's your gardener special. Me in my head thinking, if he fucks that thing up and sticking it together, doesn't put primer or nothing, it's going to burst, and who's going to get called? Me. And I'm going to end up charging them more because now I have to redo the whole main that runs to those valves, because when you lay valves down and you do a main run off to them, you tend to fucking put this big of a space in between from where the main water comes to the connector to the valve. It's that big, so you only got that much space to cut and put the new piece, which reduces it to like that much, just enough to hold it. So I said, okay, well, I'm a licensed company, we're legit kind of thing. You're trying to bust my balls over a gardener. Anybody can be a gardener. Anybody can, maintain a property and get paid monthly for it. It's not rocket science. You don't need a license. You're not doing anything illegally. You're not doing big jobs. You're not collecting a lot of money. It's just maintenance on a property. And if she's bitching to me about $400 to change a valve, I can just imagine how much she pays him to do the gardening on the property. So, and so after that conversation ended, and she said, oh, you do tree service as well. Give me a quote on everything. The trees, the back, the front, all around the property. It's like a general cleanup. They have a lot of plants. I don't know what kind of gardener she has, because half the shit's not even trimmed that he can reach. So I have to go in and trim everything, make it look nice, and, just get it up and running. And so I looked at it, and I kind of was just going to tell her, I'm like, if you're comparing apples to apples, and you're going to ask me for a quote, and you're going to ask your gardener for a quote, 100% of the time, you're going to go with your damn gardener. You're not going to go with the fucking landscape company. Why? Because we have overhead, we have expenses, we have labor costs, we have everything. Your gardener's just going to get Jose that does bolas and knows how to do everything. He's going to pull up in his pickup truck and just trim everything, haul it away with like 2 guys. Easily, if he's lucky, he could charge at least maybe $1,200, $1,500. I could see it happening with a good profit margin of around maybe $800 if he's lucky. Me, I'm looking at this work and I'm like, well, I need to get up on the trees, I need to get up on the roof, I have to top some hedges. We have to trim 2 palm trees, You know, the access is very limited to where you can put the truck with the chipper in, because we have a big ass truck. I see a lot of carrying and, you know, hauling away, and, you know, it's not a lot of work. It's the fact that it costs money to do. It's not cheap like it used to be. And when I started, I had no expenses. I would just be like, yeah, I can do it for $1,500 or $1,200. I'll trim everything. I'm the one that climbs everything, and I'll take one guy to help me clean, and that's it. It'd take me a day, it'd take me 2 days. I didn't care. I was gonna make $500 a day profit, or it would be like maybe $400 a day profit after paying labor and dump fees, not including gas. So maybe like $350 a day, which was good. You know, you have no overhead. Obviously, $350 is pretty good. Now, as a company, now with all this crap over my head hovering, it sucks. It's like you can't make any fucking money. You have to pay workers' comp. You have to pay payroll. You have to pay general liability, the bond. You know, your fucking insurance, your truck payments, your worker, yourself, everything. It's just the dump. Something fucking breaks, it comes out of my ass. It doesn't come out of anybody else. They don't care. My chipper breaks on the job, they don't give a fuck. I have to be the one to say, fuck, now there goes all the money from here. I gotta spend it on all that shit to fix. The truck breaks. Something breaks, it comes out of me. People don't understand that. They think that, oh, because, you know, my gardener, Juan, can do it for this much, anybody should be able to do it for that much. That's not the truth. I rant because I'm just fed up. I get fed up with people that call, they have these beautiful homes, they call you to these lavish houses, and you go and you give a decent quote. You know, there I can see easily, if I was to just ballpark it by what I saw, the amount of work that needed to be done, the only big trees that are on the property are 2 palm trees. Those are the only 2, and I gotta hire a guy to come out and do them for me. But besides that, everything else is pretty straightforward. Nothing's big, everything you can get to with a ladder. I mean, I could see it coming out at least maybe $2,000 to $2,500, and then it's looking at about to be maybe 2 days worth of work, but taking my time, no rush, no nothing. I could see it at $2,500. That's a good round number. Labor, dump, lunch, fuel, everything. We'll be profiting maybe, if we're lucky, like $1,500. Maybe less, but that's for 2 days worth of work. You divide that shit, it's like $750 a day. It's not a lot of money. When you're talking full 8-hour days, that's not including the fucking drive all the way down, because I live 60 miles away. That's not including picking up the people, taking them back, buying them lunch. It's just, and I have to take 2 trucks, because why? You go to areas like that are cramped, you don't want to move the fucking dump truck. You just want to park it in one spot and leave it there. You don't want to be moving it back and forth and then to go get food. It's inconvenient. You pay almost double because you want DoorDash to bring you lunch. It's just a lot. It's hard. It's hard to be a business owner. People think you make a lot of money, and you really don't. It's hard. It's a hard business. It's hard to, especially something like this that everybody does, that anybody can do. It doesn't help. That's the main thing. The businesses I would recommend people to get into is shit that not a lot of people do. If you could avoid gardening, tree service, and I don't want to say landscaping, because landscaping is a little bit more complex. It's a little harder. And but just in general, that stuff, for me, I could say there's no money in that, because there's so many people that you're competing against. And everybody, if someone wants to be a cheap ass, they can be a cheap ass about it. They can charge a job and only make $500 on it. They don't care. It's profit. $500 is $500. Me, I can't sit with myself knowing that I made $500 in 2 days. I can't. I need to make at least $500 a day, or $750 a day, at least minimum. In a single day, if I'm lucky, $700, it's a good day. 800, pushing it. I need to make at least $800, you know, of profit on the job if possible. Because being kind and trying to only pay yourself, pay your labor, pay your dump, and pay your gas and everything. Say you pay yourself $500, you'll be charging peanuts, man. You're not making shit. $500 a day, and the stress that you build, that someone's gonna come up to you, you have all these bills on top of your head, and that you need to, you need to save money. You need to have for emergencies. You don't have money. You can't make a living off of that. The amount of stress that it is with a business, you need to make good money. You can't make any money making a fucking 15% profit or 12%, whatever the fuck. When I took my contractor's test, they said that you should only profit, I think it was like 15 or 20% is your profit margin. So that way it helps you kind of bid out your prices. Like, you learn how to bid, and that's where you start with. You charge your material, your labor, all your expenses, and you just put a 20% profit on top, and that'll get you the job. 20% profit, there's no profit at 20%. You do $1,000 worth of $1,000 worth of expenses, and you're only gonna make $200. I don't think that's a good profit margin. $200 is not, there's nothing there. But hey, that's what they want us to do. I don't know. Y'all give me your opinion, see what y'all think.